commercial have been launched globally, 62 in Asia Pacific. However, universal and meaningful connectivity, where everyone can enjoy a safe, satisfying, enriching, productive, and affordable online experience, remains a challenge. Recognizing the important role that digitalization plays in meeting the SDGs, the ITU and the Office of the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Technology have established a set of aspirational targets for 2030 across internet connectivity, achieving gender parity, addressing digital skills, broadband speed, and its affordability, namely less than 2% of GNI per capita by 2025. These remain a high priority for governments across the globe, and various policy measures are being put in place to achieve the targets. For us to make significant and accelerated progress towards the targets and SDGs by 2030, we need a qualitative transformation in the way we approach the digital divide, and we connect the unconnected. We learned that a siloed approach may not work any longer, and strengthened partnership is a must to create synergies and impact. More importantly, we are gaining ground in building consensus on the need for a whole of government and whole of society approach to overcome the silos and build stronger partnerships. ITU's Smart Villages and Smart Islands initiative is an initiative designed based on that approach. It is being rolled out in 15 countries in Asia and the Pacific and is aimed to deliver connectivity, build skills, and provide priority digital services to rural and remote communities. It is being delivered in close collaboration with various line ministries, UN agencies, private sector, civil society, academia, and implementing partners. It has generated tremendous support, including that of G20 members during their meeting under Indonesia's presidency in 2022. We are glad that ITU now has presence in South Asia with the Area Office and Innovation Center in New Delhi, through which we are open to building new projects. Also in the northeastern region of the country by forging partnerships with various stakeholders. This event comes at the right time, bringing diverse stakeholders and expertise on a common platform to explore avenues for collaboration, cooperation, and partnerships. I'm thankful to the organizers once again for the invitation, and with that, I wish everyone fruitful and engaging discussions ahead, and look forward to contributing to an inclusive, sustainable, and connected future. Thank you. Distinguished
Indeed, a very powerful message, and I think the message is very clear: meaningful connectivity, sustainable connectivity, affordability, and all those key terminologies. And I think thank you, Ms. Atsuko, and for that wonderful and powerful message for the event for the CNX 2023. So, and of course, since we have started the session, and just before the formal panel starts now, without any delay, just 2 points I just wanted to highlight is, of course, we have delegates from Department of Telecommunications here, and especially from the Assam divisions here, and thank you for joining us. And another mention that I must say is that in this part of this country, there is a Northeast Council, as I think many of you know. So they are preparing a vision document 2047, and we have been invited also to contribute to the inputs to the vision document, which is more of a strategic policy document, and we are preparing those comments and inputs. And I think if any of you want to contribute in that, please get back to us, and I think that will be a wonderful effort also in terms of strategic inputs for this part of this country in terms of connectivity and access and all those important things. So with this, I just complete a process of my introduction, and now can I invite the delegates, the speakers of the inaugural who are here in person to the stage, to the dais. I'll invite one by one, of course. Vikram Shrestha, he's a president, Nepal Internet Foundation, and founder, past president, Internet Society, Nepal. Vikram, kindly join us. Thank you for joining us. Coming down from the mountain country with all those challenges. Recently, we have also quite seen those challenges, and now I think we'd love to hear from Vikram those challenges of internet and access in that country. So we have Dharmendra Singh, Vice President, New Business, Hughes Communication India. Welcome, Dharmendra. Thank you for joining us and the Hughes team here. May I welcome Hasina Kharbi. She's a founder and chairperson, Impulse NGO Network. And I think she will give some powerful remarks on the connectivity around women and access and the work she has been doing. Thank you, Hasina, for joining us and coming from Shillong all the way early in the morning with those sleeping on the way. I'm sure you had a nap on the way. Thank you. And finally, we have Professor Sashmita Samanta, founder and chairperson, Sustainable Outreach and Universal Leadership. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, I again welcome Sylvia Cadena, Acting Chief Executive Officer, Ethnic Foundation, and of course, Naveed Haq, Regional Infrastructure and Connectivity Director at Internet Society, joining online. And of course, we have Carlos Rey Moreno from APC joining us online. And of course, Osama, kindly join us. He will lead this session. And I think, of course, we have consumed already some time. Osama, thank you for helping us to moderate this session. And I think all of you know what Osama is doing for the last 20 years across the country, internationally and all. Osama Manzar. So Osama, you can take any chair that you have. And just thank you. I welcome all of you to the dais. And there's a small felicitation by the Royal Global University because they don't allow anyone to go without any felicitation. This is an order, mind a positive order, I don't say. I will rather say. And of course, I think you can start the felicitation process. I have the list whom to felicitate whom. Sylvia and Carlos and the online speakers kindly bear with us a little bit. Another 2 minutes, sorry for that. But this is how the offline thing takes some time, in fact, Thank you, and thank you for your patience. And so I invite Osama to be felicitated by Professor George, AP, Dean, Royal School of Commerce, Royal University. Where are the items, please? It's a virtual item, then I don't have anything to say, unless a digital gamcha or something. Okay, lovely. I think someday we'll have some virtual gamchas and virtual all this stuff. Thank you, Dr. George. Akanksha Sharma from ITU Program Officer, kindly join into the dais. I missed out. Sorry for that. Please, thank you for joining us. And thank you so much, Akanksha, for joining us. Our next felicitation is Mr. Sravan Goenka Sahab, Coordinator, Royal School of Commerce, will felicitate Vikram Shrestha from Nepal Internet Foundation. Goenka Sahab, thank you. A small felicitation. This is a custom, as I mentioned, indigeneity of customs and traditions. And this is a gamcha being given here in this province in Assam, in Northeast, as a sign of respect and love and warmth. Thank you so much. Dr. Sudeep Chakraborty, Dean in Charge, HOD, Royal School of Commerce, to felicitate Dharmendra Singh from Hughes Communications. Thank you, Goenka Saab. Thank you so much. Dr. Sudeep Chakraborty, to felicitate Dharmendra Singh. Dr. Sudeep, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sudeep. And I think I invite Miss Ricky Roy from Royal School of Commerce to felicitate Hasina Karbi. Ricky Roy, Mr. Ricky Roy. Mr. Rick Roy will felicitate Hasina. Because for Mr. Rick, I think we have a woman special speaker, so he may get mistaken unless Hasina stands up and say, I am Hasina. Thank you so much. Thank you for that felicitation and wonderful gift. I think I invite Mr. Binit Sharma, Faculty, Royal School of Commerce, to felicitate Professor Shashmita Samantha. Binit. And I think I can invite Mr. Rick again. Mr. Binit is not here, to felicitate Professor Samantha. I think those faculties who are closely involved in the program, they're busy here and there. I think I know the pain of getting all things ready. Thank you so much. Professor Samantha. Okay.
She's been already felicitated by.
Okay. Professor Samantha could be. She is felicitated. Okay, sorry. Professor Samantha felicited, right? Yeah, I missed that. How can my eyes miss you that? Yeah, of course. I invite Mr. Vijay Amgam to felicitate Akanksha Sharma from ITU. And this is the last felicitation. And Akanksha, thank you for joining again. And Vijay, yes, kindly felicitate. Okay. Thank you. We have to take the right place. Felicitate. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, and the last is not the least. I will felicitate Dr. George with a gamcha. Kindly help me. Kindly help me with a gamcha and a gift.
It's okay. I think nobody's there. Yes.
Thank you so much. So my role is over now, and I think thank you so much, all of you, and Osama, over to you for the discussions until 11:30 that you have, and later. Thank you so much, Osama. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now the mic is in my hand, so everybody can relax. There is no more formalities going to happen now. We will chit chat and everybody relax. We are going to have fun. Those who have been suffering online, we will go to them first because neither they have got garland, nor they have got gifts, nor they have got audience, So, Sylvia, are you ready? I would first come to you. Just open your video and mic, and just 2 minutes of introduction. We were supposed to have 1 hour. Kazi has stolen most of the time, so we are left with maybe 45 minutes. And we have 3 and 2, 5, and 3 online, so about 8 people. I would say that we will still have a nice discussion like a TV, non-fake news type of TV discussion. And we will try to do 3 rounds. First round, maybe 2 to 3 minutes everybody takes, whoever I come to. And Then again second round, then third round. And most of the discussion we would expect everybody to highlight is that what Atsuko actually pointed out is that 2.6 billion people are not connected. And those who are connected are also not meaningfully connected. And all our lives are now dependent on digital, either regulation-wise or culturally or even practitionally. There are a lot of people who are suffering not being connected. And those who are connected, of course, as we said, not meaningfully connected. So highlight and those kind of aspects in whatever pocket that you all come from. Sylvia, of course, sits in a situation where she has a bird's eye view on a lot of organizations that she funds in Asia Pacific and in Asian region, and she has also contributed in this CNX for a long time to bring those kind of practitioners who are usually left out. So Sylvia, over to you to your first 3 minutes to share sitting in Australia and giving us a nice wallpaper behind you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Osama. Nice to see you. Very sorry that I am not able to join you in person, but thank you very much for the invitation. I had the privilege to visit Assam back in 2014 and cross the Brahmaputra and drink your beautiful tea, and I still have the gift that was given me during my felicitation. I should have kept it ready to wear it today, but believe me that my spirit is with you today, and I'm really glad that this event is taking place in such a remote part of India. So, many of you may know about the APNIC Foundation, so I would encourage you, for those of you that are not aware, I would encourage you to visit our website, apnic.foundation, and explore the section about our projects so that you have a better view of the breadth and the depth of projects that the foundation is supporting. APNIC Foundation is the fundraising arm of APNIC, which is the Asia Pacific Network Information Center, and we are a technical organization that allocates IP addresses for internet development, but we have a very strong heart focused on internet development, and we understand that even though the technology is very important, in the end what we are investing in is in people, and that the internet is as secure, as reliable, as provides that level of outreach, addresses people's needs, etc., as the engineers that build it and maintain it. So it doesn't happen by magic, even if we think it does. So the role of the foundation is to try to highlight not only the needs of communities that require access to the internet, but the needs of those that are actually building and maintaining such infrastructure and being supporting development in that way. And on that note, and without extending too much on what the foundation does, I would like just to say that I was asked to put out there what are the main challenges that we see across a variety of projects that we support that are not necessarily only working on connecting for communities. And I think that there are a number of barriers there to consider that are very important in relation to really being able to outline what are the costs associated with deployment and maintenance of networks in remote locations. And that part of maintenance, for example, refers to things like if there is a tower, a connection that goes out in the middle of the Himalayas, and it takes you 8 hours to get to that place to fix it, it means that community will be disconnected, or that city will be disconnected for that time. So what are the costs for maintenance? It's not only the fuel to get there and climb the thing and fix whatever was broken, is the costs that are associated with the benefits that people are losing because that connectivity was interrupted. And I am seeing my face humongous in the background, so I'm sorry if it is this is scary for the people in the room. The other thing that I would like to highlight besides the cost for deployment and maintenance is taxation. For network operators, either if they are ISPs or community organizations or university campuses that are deploying networks that are at the service of communities, the cost of upgrading a network and deploying new networks that connect and are interoperable with the previous infrastructure are very much hindered by taxation on the devices that they need to be able to access that. And in many cases, to be able to increase the coverage of those services, taxation for new devices is higher, and it means that people stay with old devices instead of that will allow them to have more meaningful connectivity, as Osama was mentioning. But they stay with these old devices instead of accessing the new ones, and it's because of taxation issues and price. There are market barriers for people to access the internet bandwidth that they will be distributing, because even if it is owned and operated by the community, they still need the internet to come from somewhere. So that means that they need to establish links with industry and representation with operators, and sometimes they don't have the capacity to do that, either because of the remoteness of where they are working, or because it's just kind of like different worlds in which that is not happening. And the last barrier that I am going to put out there is Starlink. And it's the fact that there is this reliance on that someone is going to come and save us. And it is this thing is going to come from the sky, and the definition of a top-down decision. And is how are we, again, going to think that there is someone or some technology that is going to come in and fix all the problems? I don't think that's the case. I think that is a hybrid ecosystem that requires participation and ownership from every single actor and player in society. So I believe that putting all our hopes and dreams in companies like Starlink that are not necessarily building markets and capacity locally and are not supporting the local economy are not necessarily the best way to go. So I hope I did stir a little bit of ideas for an interesting discussion, and I look forward to your comments and continuing the conversation.
Thank you, Sylvia. Be with us, and I'll come back again to you. So, from the screen to the land, we will now have someone from this room to speak. And can I go to Bikram Shrestha to Nepal? In 3 minutes, can you highlight 2 questions answer? One is that Nepal is naturally a hilly country. The whole country is like that. And I remember Mahabir Pun was the first one who did the Himalayan connectivity, and he got Magsaysay Award for that. And he also helped many of the community networks to be established in India. And then after that, I have been seeing that a lot of people do last mile connectivity in Nepal, but it is still not a policy. It is still not a part of the regulation or the business policy or the government policy. What do we need to learn from Nepal, and what Nepal need to learn, that why the difficult areas is so difficult to connect? If you can highlight in just quickly in 2 minutes, yeah.
Thank you, Osama. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much and it's my honor and my pleasure to be here in part of CNX. I have been working in this internet world. It's almost 2 decades. When I was just 19 years old, I started my first career from startup ISP in my native place. It's far away from Kathmandu. It's in what you say, landlord site is 92 kilometers, but because of terrain, it's very difficult to reach. And as Osama said, that I'm also the part of Mahavir Dai. Mahavir is now looking after the this innovation Nepal separately, but still I'm working in the last mile connectivity and in internet world. I'm the founder, Internet Society Nepal chapter as a treasurer, and then I started after the past president, and we start this Nepal Internet Foundation. And in Nepal, I used to say wherever I would go abroad, and I'm also the first fellow from Nepal to the ICANN, Internet Corporation for Nepal, Internet Corporation for Name and Numbers. And still, the political stability is not, as we said, that in Nepal is still the political stability is not there. So that's how the government is only focusing on their own business. But the civil society like us, we are working for the last mile connectivity for the mountains. I used to say in Nepali, जहाँ पुग्दैन रवि त्यहाँ पुग्छ कवि भने जस्तै जहाँ we use, I mean, wherever the this poetry kavi will be not reached, we will be the last mile connectivity we provide in Nepal. So last year we had back-to-back community network we established. One is in Everest region. In Khunde and Khumjung itself, it's almost, 4,000 meter height. It's very near to Everest base camp. It's only 32 kilometers far away from the Everest base camp. So as we don't have that kind of support from the government, but the private sectors and civil society are more active, and still there is no policy in community network or civil society initiatives in Nepal. So that's how Internet Society had been supporting in Nepal from 2007 itself, because I was the founder treasurer. So that's onwards we have established multiple community network in Nepal and last mile connectivity, but it's still going on. There is lots of still. I have been working in other two villages. It's very remote village where the telecom provider also they don't have a infrastructure there, but we have been there, and last mile connectivity we have been doing. So still there is no such kind of policy in Nepal.
I know, there is only announcements. That is what I have seen, that there are a lot of announcements by the governments and by USO funds and so on and so forth in many areas. But one thing that I want to ask to Hasina, she works in remote areas, you work with social issues and things like that. The statistics clearly says is that only 48% of the country uses internet, right? And I'm sure those 48%, huge percentage is those who use once in a month or once in 2 months or 6 months. They are part of their statistics. That means not more than 25 to 30% people use internet to be dependent on it. Rest of the people are suffering because of its being buffering, or it's not working, and so on and so forth. The landscape has changed. In the last 20 years, before earlier internet was aspirational. Now internet looks like that it is a necessity, right? Even the government says that you can only do DBT, you can only withdraw this way, you can only pay online, you can put all the certificate online, and so on and so forth. So, isn't it not only a pain, it is actually a huge drain on your pocket for the poor people who are unconnected?
Thank you for that question, Osama. So I would just say, like, 35 years of my journey from a non-internet to an internet base, starting off from Shillong and now working in 5 countries of Southeast Asia. I think the ground learning lesson is completely very different than what is being announced constantly in many biggest forum about different policies that is actually connecting Northeast, in the Act East policy. We really need to solve connectivity from the ground. when I use the word solving connectivity from the ground, I'll just give you a right example. Like, we work with 30,000 artisans in the 8 states of the northeast of India.
30,000.
Yes. And they are all basically in different pockets of the Eastern Himalayan belt, and we also work in Nepal and Myanmar, and also in Bangladesh, and now our regional offices in Thailand. The question that I have is that when we were trying to solve a social issue, we introduced Impulse Case Management Center, where the law enforcement will be able to actually solve cases of human trafficking by being able to connect immediately and quickly. But then in the course of our action of the work, the online version is never a possibility all the time. That we had to go backward and create an offline version of the same technology platform so that they could put all the cases that is being registered, and the moment the connecting point come like a dot, they would be able to click. We would be using the telephone half the time when we have already introduced the Impulse Case Management Center for enforcement to be able to work across borders on cases on human trafficking. So my deepest question is that when we have to solve social issue or a crime issue through the need of the hour, which is actually digitally, then I think the government needs to first strengthen the last mile of all the police stations in the region across the Eastern Himalayan belt to have better connectivity. Unless we won't be able to do a cross-border, although we succeeded with more than 74,000 cases, but that is a pain and a huge amount of resources we had to bring on board, because it's working on telephone, it's creating, the headquarter is taking the data, refeeding the data, but that is not what digital process of connectivity is all about. It means that the last mile of a police station in the remotest part of the Northeast should be able to feed that case that is required. So that is a challenge and continue to be a challenge. After we won the World Global Prize from the World Bank in 2012, we reached to 4 countries. Yes, even at the headquarters, we still have we have to wait for minutes and minutes to be connected. The last mile is completely untouched. So that is one challenge that we need to see. The second part is, as we were trying to look at people on the move, especially because we are working with agroforestry, looking at people on the move and migration, we are trying to increase economic upliftment. And we always take things as a challenge. For me, every impossible has to be possible. So in the journey of making that possible, we started the partnership with Meta to actually get connectivity of every small businesses in the Northeast to be able to market the product on Instagram, Facebook, which is the main platform, so that they don't have to depend on the middlemen. When I use the word middlemen, who is making lots of money now? People who have agencies sitting in Delhi and Mumbai and maybe Guwahati and all of that are actually taking control of the small businesses who cannot sell things online because they cannot load it from the village. So you're paying lots of money because you want to do business, you have to sell online, you cannot be online so frequently and in the speed that is required of the hour at the moment. So you're paying an extra money to the middle person who's sitting at the state capital to get things done for you. In that, we try to walk away from it, and through Meta Business Academy are reaching the nook and corners of the Northeast at the moment. The interesting part, every woman who's running a small businesses want to be connected. But we are still not able to get that speed what somebody is doing in Delhi, in Rajasthan, in Mumbai, than us, because we are not able to get the certification loaded at the right time. We have to gather all the certificate into a pool, and then we have to bring it back to the headquarters. Then again, we have to load, because for Meta, it's necessary that every certification comes alive. That's only how the system is going to work. So my honest question is that, as every policymaker, we have the Northeastern Council, the donor, we have the IT department. Don't you think we need to look at that connectivity first if we have to talk digitally, connectivity for everybody? If we don't do that, we will be at a crossroad in the Eastern Himalayan belt. While we'll have some people making lots of money trying to give that access to the most smallest business who don't have that access, when actually what we are trying to do is breaking that. But while we're trying to break, our target now is 5,000. We complete 2,500 in 2 months. But certificate is not uploaded yet because we have to bring back to Shillong. Of course, the cost of going to every nook and corner is a high cost. Who is going to bear that in the longer run for sustainability?
Thank you, Sina, for highlighting that. And this is the ground reality. And I remember when I was writing one column in my regular column, I did a little bit of research in Rajasthan that a poor person pays for 250 rupees for a printout. If you really convert the loss of wage of the day, the number of times the person has to go to the town or a nearest district or a tehsil or taluk to get photostat done, which is necessary to upload or whatever for something digital thing. So it is extremely painful for them. It's something like how a villager pays a huge amount for drinking water, right, which is not reaching to the home. Same with this one. So coming to actually, the new word has been coined after G20 is that digital public infrastructure, right? It's I'm saying word is because we have to translate into action. And digital public infrastructure is necessary in a populous country because individual affordability of digital access as a basic human right infrastructure may be very unaffordable and also may be extremely difficult to deploy because you will keep on calculating ARPU, and therefore ARPU doesn't allow you to go to the villages, or the mountain areas or the remote areas. And there I come to Dharmendra to find out that your actually a specialization of your company being, I would say, if not, I don't know, should we say telecom service provider, but certainly connectivity service provider, is that you usually reach to the place where nobody else reaching, through satellite services and things like that. Can you highlight the problem available, because for you the problem is also an opportunity, business opportunity, but why are we not doing it?
Thank you, Osama. Good morning, everybody. I think, Osama, you rightly said, connectivity is no more aspirational. Actually, it is essential. And it is needed now, today. There are efforts which are being done, both from the private sector as well as government side. But whether they are enough, surely not. That's the reason we are sitting here and discussing this very important topic. And now, both challenges are there, and I think more than me, people here in the audience know the challenges, the real challenges. And the reason I'm here is also to discuss and socialize that. But both government as well as private sector, both needs to play their role, and for sure with the help of community. We have seen, many programs done by government, BharatNet 1, now very recently we are talking about BharatNet 2, and I remember on 15th of August, Prime Minister announcing $16 billion for connecting the unconnected, right? And primarily, most of the fund goes to the terrestrial technologies, but there is a provision about 10% for alternate technologies, which also includes satellite and many innovative initiatives which are being done in Northeast. I know there are people tomorrow on the panel talking about what they are doing in the communities. Now, is that fund enough? Probably not. But what is the private sector doing, the big three? I consider BSNL as part of the government, and whether it is BharatNet 1, 2, 3, they're playing some role. But challenges, big three are interested only where enough number of users are there, where it closes the business case. And I think that's the most important part. They do not want to lay down fiber to a community where 10 people are living or 25 people are living. You know, as they would love to do that, but it doesn't make commercial sense for them, and that's where government is playing role. Second challenge is, of course, we'll come to that, what technologies are available. Once it is rolled out, we have been doing some reviews of the BharatNet 1. Probably 50% of sites are not operational because somebody funded them, somebody got paid, somebody installed it, and there was nobody to manage them. And why? Because, as Hasina said, you know, these areas are very difficult to reach. And you know, you cannot deploy an engineer and an operator to each site. That's where the role of community is important. You know, the funding has to be in a way that it is not provisioned only for the technology, it is also provisioned for the upkeep of it. And maybe create entrepreneurship out of that. You know, remember the first National E-Governance Plan, the CSC centers were envisioned that government do the entire funding and they will create entrepreneurship. And we don't want to go back there, that why that didn't work or why it got delayed. So major challenge is that technology is there. Maybe I'll talk a little more about that later. Technology is available, and if we can over next 2 days discuss and see that what help we can provide and work not just with the government but with the top 3 guys in the communities to come up with some innovative ways and garner government funding and try and roll out these centers. That's my view on this. Thanks.
Thank you, Dharmendra, for highlighting that connecting is just not important, because connectivity is like creating a school is just not important. You need a teacher, you need an entire paraphernalia to run it, and that's a human intervention that we need. You just cannot erect a tower and provide connectivity. It has to be maintained for its efficiency. Can I go to online and find out if Carlos is there? Carlos works with APC, and Carlos is very instrumental in popularizing or highlighting community networks or alternative networks as a means of connectivity. Perhaps Carlos got tired that telcos are not listening, governments are not listening. That means we have to take connectivity in our hands, and the community has to take the connectivity in our hands. But Carlos, can you highlight what APC has been able to create a momentum in creating an understanding of alternative technology as a necessity to do last mile connectivity where the normal guys are not reaching?
Thanks Osama, thanks everyone. Thank you for the invitation to the EF and to everyone in the room for listening. I don't know if there is also other people online listening in, but yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, it would be unfair to say that APC is the only one behind this. I think we have heard from the APN Foundation, we know ISOC, we know other of the partners of this event have been there also supporting this movement and supporting this idea, right? That the program that I coordinate on community networks for the Association for Progressive Communications, which is a network organization for which DEF is one of our members, and have been doing this for the last 30 years. The program that I coordinate on trying to see this type of alternative solutions to bridge the digital divide have been there since we started in 2017. Actually, we started in 2017 with the first CNX, right? And it was one of the first conferences that I attended. And if you look at the statistics of how many people have been connected since 2017 to now, the problem remains. I think the big telcos and the main operators do, and I think it's been discussed and mentioned before, do create solutions for places where their business models work, right? If the people that they have to connect do not have the necessary economic means to be connected, then they don't go there, they don't get connected. And the speaker before me was saying, well, the government is incentivizing that they go there. There are tens, hundreds of cases where the private sector has been incentivized to do so, have received millions of dollars everywhere around the global south. And those base stations, those fiber optics, those other projects just got discontinued, or the companies went into liquidation because the revenue that they were getting was simply not enough. So if we heard Atsuko at the beginning talking, and the ITU has been actually recognizing this and recognizing that business as usual is not going to close the digital divide, that we need alternative models. And that has been not only said by them in different, by the International Telecommunications Union in different spaces, but that has been incorporated in resolutions from their major conferences, right? Also here in the region, the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025 also includes that communities, are a valuable actor, and community networks are a valuable vehicle for closing the digital divide, right? So I think when you were talking, Osama, before, and others around the recognition by governments, I think it takes time. I think there has been 30 years of internet by traditional operators alone. The telecom sector, a sector where it was invested by private companies that were going to get a big share and a lot of revenue back on that, a lot of return on investment on that money that they put into building the telecommunications sector in many countries. But that got to a certain extent, that got to a certain percentage of the population. And now we need other models, and we need other ways of doing and thinking for connecting the other half, or not only connecting, as you were rightly saying, by providing meaningful connectivity and by providing local value services and added value services on top of the connectivity that is being provided. And who is better positioned than the communities to do so? Who knows better what are the communication needs of the communities than the communities themselves, right? And that's being proven all across the continent. And I think you're going to have speakers later today, tomorrow, that are going to be showing examples where that's the case, right? As I was saying, and I finish with this, it takes time. It takes time for that transformation to take place. I think those pioneering resolutions from the ITU last year, from their two major conferences last year, are already changing the potential for countries to engage on the recognition of these actors, on the recognition that other actors, that commercially invested companies are the ones to close the digital divide. And we see that last week, right? On Friday, it was the closing date for a public consultation for the national broadband policy in Bangladesh that included community networks, right? The Bangladesh government is looking at including international broadband policy, community networks as a vehicle to close the digital divide. It's already happening. Next week, we have a training with the ITU, with the regulator in Indonesia, where they are going to start looking at this. Whether that's become policy or not, we'll see. But there is a trend of reverting that other trend that only, commercially invested companies were the ones to do this. And yeah, thank you for the conference. I'm really looking forward to hearing from the experiences that are going to be shared. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Carlos, for highlighting that. Actually, India has done this so many times. We created SHG phenomena. We created this frontline health workers phenomena, which is all community oriented and business oriented, but community oriented. And I know, Susmita, you have a bad throat and you still had a courage to come on here. But what's your 2 bits of suggestion or ideas that can help us to make internet reach faster to the communities?
Thank you, and first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Kaji for inviting me, and also Community Network Exchange organizers. Yeah, we are discussing on 2 topics here. that how internet can reach the people, how we can increase the accessibility. And second one, we are discussing that how that accessibility can be effective. Coming to my background, I worked in academics for 27 years. Just before 1 month, I have changed my line of action, thought that I have done a lot in academics. And let's see that how this country, the technology can be developed. Why I thought about this, that working in academics, working very closely with the youngsters, very closely with the community, very closely with the people, what I realized that yes, lots of efforts are being taken at the governance level, at the national and state level leadership, that how the development can come to the people. And while lots of planning is being done very meticulously to reach the people, one thing is missing there, what I realized, that access, that reach only can be fruitful if we can bring effectiveness into the system. And to bring the effectiveness into the system, the community learning, the community education, I think it will play a very key role. Coming to my company, I can say that mostly we are focusing on education, healthcare, and livelihood. And we are developing the products that how the education, healthcare, and livelihood can come to the people, and it can be accessible, and it can, I can say that, contribute effectively to the people. Coming to the healthcare, just recently we have developed a product by taking into account all the CSE, PSs, the district hospitals, and also the, I can say that, the medical college and hospitals, all the healthcare systems of the country together, which is a product for the state itself. Any state can go for this product. And where we are coming with different solutions like virtual ICUs, the virtual medical centers to cater to the need of the people, those who are meeting the accident in a very remote place and they are not accessible to the hospital. So creating such facilities at a place, I think we can educate the community, those who can contribute, those who can facilitate those systems. I can give an example of state of Odisha. What they have done, they have taken the help of Red Cross. Red Cross is very effective, I can say, in the state of Odisha. And there are thousands of volunteers in the schools and colleges. And they have trained all the volunteers of schools and colleges in how to solve to the accident-prone people. Anyone is meeting with the accident, that there is a chart, in the, I can say that is coming in the mobile, that those are the volunteers in this area. Automatically it's coming, they have developed an app. Anyone is meeting with accident, logging in that app, they can get the numbers, they are calling them, and those people are trained that how to treat the accident-prone people, those who have met the accident in a particular place. So in that way, the community education, I think, it's very much required to bring the technology to the people. Yes, accessibility problem is there, issues are there, but as I can say that as we are trying to reach, to make that reach effective, the community learning is very much required. And I hope that the people like ma'am will be playing a very key role in that how the community can be trained as such, the different technology developed at different places, can be private, can be government, can be anywhere else, that can benefit the people a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Akansha, I will come to you once only, since you are representing and you have your boss have said that, said a lot. But since most of the people were very generous to use the 2 rounds in 1 round only as far as their time is concerned, we will go to the last round and try to be on time to have our cup of tea. And also for the rest of the day, I will start with Akanksha. Let's say CNX and DEF and people like ours has a responsibility to bring most of the matter to the fore, to the government, to the industry, to the community. What do you suggest we need to do this? Because, not being connected is hurting. And being not meaningfully connected is also hurting. And unfortunately, those who are connected is also hurting because they are having misinformation, fake news, online hate speech, and so on and so forth. But all those are hurting even those who are not connected, because it's a part of the society now, because at least one person in all families or areas are mostly connected to get those information. So I'll start from there, because ITU being a larger thing, that what do you see as the kind of things that we need to do to fast forward being meaningfully connected and having a capacity to use access properly?
Yeah, it's a difficult question to address, but I'll try my best, to throw some light. I would start with saying that, what doesn't get measured doesn't get addressed. So I believe, putting the information together for the stakeholders, be it the government, be it the UN agency, ITU, to take action upon them is also very critical. So we undertake a lot of these activities across the Asia Pacific, in fact, across the globe. One of the things is mapping, and mapping where the pain points are and what actually the issues on the ground are. And once we have this information, then we map those with the kind of programs that ITU has to offer, which could possibly provide solutions to those problems. And I think this was also something that Atsuko-san had mentioned in her address, that smart villages, smart islands, this is one of the initiatives of the ITU through which we are trying to provide access to the remotest of the areas. And of course, each country where we work presents with its own challenges. The program has already been rolled out across 15 countries, and now we are currently working in Mongolia, where we've received the same request to provide access. But the country provides its own challenges because the population is migratory, people move from one area of the country to the another, depending upon the seasons, depending upon the time of the year. And all of those things provides with its own challenges. And then depending upon the challenges, then we bring in companies, the industry, stakeholders who could have relevant solutions to solve some of these challenges. So we are working with Cisco, we are working with a lot of these technology providers to see how, and connectivity is just, I feel, one part of the solution. In order to provide an inclusive and a safe connectivity, it's also important that people have the required skills, people have affordable access, which also means affordable devices. So then it's a journey which starts with connectivity but doesn't necessarily end with just having a connection. It has to move on with the, it has to be backed with skills, it has to be backed with devices, it has to be backed with security. Cyber security is such an important aspect where again ITU is working a lot. So yeah, I think we all on this platform are trying to work together to make sure that we can fast track some of these solutions that we can offer to the community. And I think no one has the solution to just address this problem on its own. And what will really help is coming together and working together through partnerships to address some of these problems. And we are glad that we now have presence in New Delhi, in India, through which we can work on projects, work on solving some of these challenges together with the community, together with the stakeholders who are in this room here on this platform. And we would be happy to take on what we could do in our capacity as an ITU. Thank you.
Thank you. Bikram, 1 minute.
I just want to highlight on 3 things: collaboration, cooperation, and coordination. So through this community network Xchange, we have to collaborate on reach or on trap community, and then we have to be supported for the wherever the government or private sector or business people they don't reach. That's last mile we should be there. So I just say that coordination, collaboration, and cooperation.
Thank you. Dharmendra.
I think Sylvia raised a question and rather suggestion that nobody will help us if we don't help ourselves, right? Government is assigning funds and announcing it. But is that going to the places where probably Hasina thinks it should be going, or people here think it should be going? So important is that identifying which are the areas where the connectivity is essential. And when I say it's needed, it means there's nothing else. If you already have 3G, 4G, probably that's not the area where we would like to spend the money today. Let's spend the money where there's nothing. And important, I'll say some of these organizations should work and create a POC and say, this is the model which works for northeastern states, and this is the technology. There can't be one single technology. There are areas where different technologies will address, right? Maybe multiple models, and take them to the government and get funding, not necessarily through big MNOs, not necessarily through us. Get the money there and let people like MNOs and us help them implement it there, because technology is there. Important, and government is saying, they came up, like, can people show a workable model for rural most areas which can help connect these communities, and we will fund those. So I think idea is to create model, and maybe together, we are happy to contribute, work offline, that how we can help there. That's my view to it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I think together with you, we are certainly going to create at least one POC, one demonstration in each state in Northeast, as we had a discussion. If you want to just highlight that part also, that is one of the examples that we can create in the next 1 year.
Sure. See, we are happy to contribute from our side, maybe 1 or 2 locations, if people can identify these are the most rural, almost not reachable locations. Let's create, we will fund, we will give the equipment upfront, and let the community and the local teams run it, right? And maybe create model, maybe pick up 2 sites in each states. We will provide the equipment, we will install the equipment, we will maybe give the bandwidth, FOC, till we push this agenda to the government, say this is the model which works, can we replicate it? And purely for the areas where no other connectivity is available. So I'm happy to work if we have different people from the states, those who are trying to do that, or even if it is government officials here, happy to do that and take it forward.
Brilliant. So we will certainly do that demonstration together, and also the create. There are apparently 35 to 49,000 villages in India which has no connectivity. It's absolutely telecom dark. But the point is that those who are also connected, there are many one in dark. But yes, I agree with you is that we need to look at someone who is absolutely not connected, so that we have a very good example of how community can run a connectivity, if the equipments are provided. So we will work together on that one. You
Sure.
want to quickly say something? Yeah.
No, exactly. There's no point spending time and effort where something is already there just for the sake of putting a white paper
Sure.
or coming to media. Let's go where there's nothing.
Yeah. Hasina, your last 1 minute, and you can also identify a couple in Shillong, in
Northeast.
Meghalaya, by the way.
So I think going back to having a pilot, when we talk about pilot, it's so critical and very important that organization, institution co-creates, because if we don't co-create, we always work in isolation. That has been my experiences. Rather than becoming support of tackling the connectivity, we become competitors. So I think it's so critical to look at that side when we come from different stakeholdership as we are sitting out here. The second part is, if we're looking at pilot, as we're just talking now, for me who work with migration across borders and who are looking at economic upliftment and agroforestry right now in multiple places, the issue of our borders, I work with 5 countries, I'm present in those 5 countries. The moment I get to a border point, my own internet, changes to an international roaming. So we need to also talk about that. Like for me who works in Bangladesh, immediately my connectivity turns into Grameen the moment I get just to the border point. The moment I go to Indo-Myanmar, it crosses into a different. So that's also one critical issue about the Northeast, that we have to talk about it. We need to have solution about it, because when we talk about connectivity, it's just not about country specific. It's about cross borders. Connectivity is not about one country, it's a cross border. So if we're talking about a cross border, I think we have to look at the Eastern Himalayan belt as a collective response, so that while we are trying to solve problems of economic upliftment, of small businesses, of social issues and gender issues, we need to look at not just like India-centric, Nepal-centric, we have to look at a very collective-centric. So that's my take on it.
Thank you so much. Your quick last line.
What we normally discuss and the solutions we provide to the people, keeping in mind on the requirement of the humanity. And I think while we talk about connectivity and while we talk about the people, I think we should keep in mind at the age of AI and ChatGPT, whatever we are discussing today now in the technology, that how the human factors, that can be strengthened more. And while we talk about human factor today in the age of ChatGPT and AI, we always remember that the human emotions, the confidence, and the human willpower, perhaps today they had those characteristics of the human beings will make the difference and will be much more predominant. And while we compare the humanity with the technology, and it will be the leading the globe as the human being. And while we talk about connectivity to take the advantage of the globe, yes, I think that in the way the technology is growing in this country or in this world, and it is making the world much beautiful or much better for the people to live in, I think today's discussion will be contributing substantially the deliberations made by the people, that how the connectivity or the technology can make the lives better in the ground level.
Thank you. Can I go to Sylvia for her last word, and then Carlos?
Sure. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Sorry, with my big head on the screen.
Yes, got it. Yeah.
Well, I think that this conversation is as multifaceted as the people that have expressed the many points of view, and there are many of these issues that have been discussed, have been put on the table for a number of years. But it's always, it seems to me that we make some progress in one area and then 3 steps back, and I think that it's very important that we make a stronger effort on not only keep going, which is of course, what these organizations that are advocating and doing the work have been doing over the years, but more on sharing the story and documenting the processes and sharing how it was that they were able to unlock some of the challenges that they faced, because there are a number of organizations and communities around the region that are dealing with similar situations and need inspiration. I'm not going to say solutions, but need inspiration to come up with their own approaches to solve their problems. And I believe that there are events like this and opportunities to share knowledge and challenges and expertise are very valuable, and that we need to continue to facilitate these processes. They take a long time. And I also, being an organization that deals a lot with the technical community and private sector, that are providing some of the backhaul solutions, and looking at how submarine cables and satellite connectivity solutions are also evolving. I think it's very important that organizations that are working in remote communities and working with underserved and unserved populations work on developing skills to participate in the development of these business models and be able to articulate their submissions when there are policy recommendations that are open. If we don't make the effort to engage and support the change in the regulatory framework, it will not happen. If we just step back and say, oh, but it never can happen. Well, change comes, and sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes decades, and we just need to keep at it. So I would like to close my remarks by encouraging people in the audience to participate in policy development process, get organized, and strengthen their links with telecommunication operators and universal access funds. Make sure that they know who you are, where you are, and what you're doing, because you can't do this alone. And that's all from my end. I will pass the mic to you again, Osama, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Sylvia. Carlos, just above you on the screen.
Nice to share the screen with Sylvia. No, I mean 100% with what Sylvia has said, with what Vikram has said as well around collaboration. And I'm glad to hear that there is some projects that may come as a result of this CNX in connecting those places where there is no connectivity. But as we really know as well from the data, as Katie was saying, is that there are many places who have connectivity and that connectivity is not being used because it's too expensive or it's not meaningful or it doesn't have any meaning whatsoever to the communities where it is being deployed. Also because of the ARPUs and the business models that are behind those. So there is a need to work there as well. And from ABC, we are committed to collaborate. I think we've shown that over, since our inception, but even more so over the last few years, and even more so in the last couple of years here in the region. We are going to continue articulating and integrating initiatives and collaborations. And please, stay tuned. I believe there are going to be interesting elements coming up next year in relation to those collaborations and finding common agendas. And really, I think we need everyone, and we need everyone to take breaking the digital divide seriously to bridge it, right? Else, it's going to remain there forever as it's remained there since the onset. It's rural development, and rural development has been a challenge forever. And if we don't solve it, it will continue that way. Thank you.
Thanks, Carlos. I will just close it in 2 minutes. There are 2, 3, 4 consolidating points that I would like to highlight. One is that ITU is now in India. That's a good news, and we can always find a place where we can go shout that why things are not happening as far as the international voice is concerned. So that's a good news. The second good news is that a private sector is ready to contribute through this platform to show a kind of place that if you are unconnected, there is still a possibility of having a technology and community can run it. The third is participation of such diverse, collaborative entities on one platform, right from community representing to country representing and so on and so forth. What I felt is that through this discussion is that 3 things is highlight, which I will call C3, which connectivity, capacity, and community. The reason I said capacity is because these days when you need connectivity, you get connectivity, you do not want to have it insecure, not trustworthy, not safe, not things. This used to happen only 20 years before, not now. So you need that capacity, and also participation of community is very, very clear. Like Dharmen said, is that if community doesn't demand, who will come to fill the demand? You know, you have to make your voice heard, you know, or participate, or say that we are ready to use it, or you want it and we can't live without it, and things like that, and even to maintain and manage it. And community is also important from the perspective of DPI, you know, digital public infrastructure. When you say digital public infrastructure, the public is community, you know, that, and it has to be in a community place, and it is owned and run by the community. So from all those perspectives, these C3 has to be taken into the consideration, and all of us, maybe after this CNX, we will come out with a piece of paper and all that, how we discussed and work together and take it forward. And we have certainly, like Hasina said, that we cannot look at this entire region only as a country. Of course, CNX is across Asia, and the Himalayan and mountain region is not just not northeast, but many more countries, and that's the beauty of it, that we want to include all of that. Connectivity is, of course, never local, you know, never local is a user. You know, connectivity is always across border, across your villages. With those notes, thank you very much for cooperating to be on time. Thank you very much for you know, for participating and coming here and you know, dedicating yourself. Carlos and Sylvia, thank you for sticking there in odd hours to be here. Carlos, are you in Spain or in Australia?
In Australia at the moment.
Okay, so Australia, it's not so bad. You are just in the afternoon, right? Thank you very much for sticking around and supporting CNX for the last 7-8 years, ever since it has started happening. We feel that we have more responsibility because there are more people demanding it for the connectivity. Thank you very much, and let's go for tea. What is it? Oh, okay. So we have some kits to be distributed among those people. I think Sylvia and Carlos will have to just keep on smiling that they don't mind it, because we can't get it across to you. But we will get it across to you. We'll make sure that you get it. So yeah, Akanksha, do you want to hand over some of the things? Let's not do too much of formality, just hand it over, because formality mein bahut time jata hai. Akanksha can help to hand it over actually. Yeah. See, this is collaboration. See, suddenly from guest to host.
Now we're part of your community.
Yeah. Anybody else? So this is for you.
Although I don't need one.
No, of course. Thank you very much. Chai bahar इंतजार कर रही है आप लोगों का. You have only 15 minutes.
Just an announcement.
It is a session of compulsive knowledge gathering, you know. Yeah.
Hello. Tea is being served in Block B. So I would request everyone to just go to Block B.
Thank you, everyone. The tea is being served in Block D, ground floor, and return to your respective sessions at 12, of course, but now late. So by 12:10 or so, please be in your sessions. So request all of you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good morning, delegates. You are at present in Block A. You need to march towards Block D. We have student volunteers of Royal Global University who can help you to go to Block D, ground floor, and the tea and the high tea is being served there. In case if there is any problem, please feel free to help, take help from us. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Ismail, I think this.
Hello, sound check, sound check, check. hello, 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 hello.
In order to talk about something, we should hello. Is there any issue in the speakers right now? तुम्हें कुछ लग रहा है? अभी ये वाला ठीक है.
Mic check. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey. Hello. Hello. Check. Mic check. Mic check, huh? Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. Mic check. Hey, hey. Mic check. Mic check. Hey. Hello. Check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
जो
Mic check.
भी मैं
Mic check. Mic check. Hello. Check. Hello. 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 Check. Mic check. Hello. Hello. नहीं देगा? Hello. Check. Hello. Mic check. Hello.
hello check check.
Hello. Check. Mic check. Mic check. Hello. Check. Mic check. Hello. Check. Hello. Hello. Check. Hello. 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 Hello.
hello 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 hello.
सामने जाने से फीडबैक मारेगा ही पूरा. ये दूसरा माइक है. हेलो.
हाँ.
चेक.
बहुत कॉस्टली है. इसमें कोई इशू नहीं.
ये महंगा माल है, इसमें टेंशन नहीं.
ओ ठीक है.
Mic check. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Mic check. Mic check. इशू है क्या जो उस वक्त आ रहा था ना? हेलो 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 हेलो. हाँ ये तो वही बोल रहा है ना. हेलो हेलो चेक. माइक चेक. हेलो हेलो हेलो. हाँ हेलो चेक. ये ठीक है. ये ठीक है. ये गड़बड़ी है. हेलो चेक. माइक चेक. हेलो चेक. हेलो चेक. हेलो चेक. हेलो चेक. माइक चेक. हेलो हेलो. साउंड थोड़ा कमती है. हेलो 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 चेक. माइक चेक. हेलो हेलो चेक. हेलो 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 चेक. हेलो हेलो चेक. হ্যালো হ্যালো দুইটা মাইকই অন করেছে ঠিক আছে হ্যালো চেক হেই হেই
हेलो इसका एक काम करो आउटपुट ठेलो तो मॉनिटर हम कमती कर दिया कॉर्डलेस में बोलो जय जय अरे अपना कॉर्डलेस से टेस्ट करो उसका मॉनिटर कमती किया आउटपुट थोड़ा सा बढ़ा लो জয় তোমার কর্ডলেসটা টেস্ট করো আউট মনিটরটা কম করেছে আর আউটপুটটা বাড়াও তো একটু
মাইক চেক হ্যালো হেই হেই মাইক চেক মাইক চেক ঠিক আছে
আর একটু বাড়ানো যাবে আউটপুটটা দেখো তো মনিটরটা একটু কম করে দিয়েছি
তো ওইখান থেকে বাড়িয়ে দাও না এখানে বাড়ালে ফিডব্যাক মারবে হ্যালো চেক হ্যালো 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 চেক গেইন দিবে না কিন্তু
না না গেইন দিন
ঠিক আছে হ্যালো চেক
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে
হেই হেই
বাস বাস বাস
একটা চেক করছি হ্যালো হেই হেই মাইক চেক হ্যালো
नहीं
जो भी मैं कहना चाहूँ. Everything is arranged, you just need the people. Like,
Hi, can I please ask everyone to take their seats? We have to start with the first session. Thank you, everyone. Can I please request everyone to take their seats so we can start the session? Is this better? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Requesting everyone to take their seats. We have to start the session. I know we got a little delayed with the plenary session and therefore the tea went on for a bit longer than we anticipated. But can we please come back so we can start with the first session of today? Okay, we start the first session of the Community Network Exchange 2023 with the panel discussion called Access and Connectivity in Mountain and Hilly Regions. How accessible is it today? Can I please ask our speakers who will be leading this discussion to join us on stage one by one? Mr. N. Jairam, Marketing Head and Senior Director for Enterprise Business from Hughes Communication. Can I please ask you to come and join us on the stage, please? Thank you. Can I ask Bikram Shrestha, the President of Nepal Internet Foundation, to also join us on the stage? Thank you. Hasina Kharbi from Impulse NGO Network, can you please come on the stage? And can I also request Mr. Charan Nayak, the CTO of Reliance Jio, to join us on the stage? We also have Michael, the co-founder and director, strategy and operations of Air Jaldi, joining us online. And Carlos from APC, who you met in the plenary session, will be the moderator for today's discussion. Carlos and Michael, thank you and welcome to CNX. Carlos, can you hear us? Carlos, can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
Am I?
Oh no, we can hear you now. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for accepting to be the moderator for today, and over to you. Welcome, Michael.
Okay. No, thank you very much.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you very much, and I want to welcome the speakers. I think in the interest of time as well, I would like to maybe just skip any introduction that I could make on the topic and really get the people to speak, no? And I want to, I think we have 45 minutes for the session. So I would like the speakers first round of maybe 5 minutes describing how they have worked or how they work on working on this topic of access and connectivity on mountain and hilly regions, what has been the main barriers that they have seen, and what are the solutions that they have put into place, right? So I'm gonna go by the order of that appears on the program, starting by, I believe, Mr. Jairam, the marketing head and senior director for enterprise business for Hughes Communications in India, or maybe is in the room.
Hi, Carlos. Hi, thanks. I did hear questions. I will start off, if I may. So,
sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Just brief introduction. I am Jairam. I represent Hughes Communications India Limited. We are a satellite service provider. Satellite is in our DNA, and we have been here for almost 30 years in India. This question is apt because satellite tend to be the solution for, or the only solution in many times for those unconnected areas, or as we call them, tough terrains, mountainous, I would say areas where hilly regions, whatever you want to call it. So we have tremendous experience in providing or enabling those communities, those geographies, those users in that area, whether it's a consumer or it's a telco or a government office or a army outpost. I mean, I can go on and on. We have tremendous experience in enabling them with high-speed broadband. And in fact, I was listening to Hasina when she talked about her challenge. That can be solvable. We do have, we work in those areas. I mean, quite a lot. Maybe it's our fault that people don't know much about it, and we need to jointly rectify that. Coming back to the topic, what we feel is while we are coming out with different models, new technologies, new type of capacities which are low cost and which will enable the adoption by individuals and even businesses, the main challenge, again, I'll go back to the sustainability. This was discussed earlier also. Power, lack of power for that matter, because we can bring in this technology, satellite is feasible anywhere, but if you don't have power to operate it, what will you do? I mean, many places where we are deployed, you get 1 or 2 hours power in a day. So we need to look at a solution, maybe a solar power, which is being deployed more and more as a standard, I would say, deliverable along with these alternate technologies, including satellite. That is one. Second is definitely access to those sites. It's extremely, extremely difficult. We have done a project partnering BBNL, Bharat Broadband, wherein we deployed high-speed satellite broadband, 10 Mbps and above, in 5,500 villages in India. And I think 80% of it would be in Northeast and a majority would be in Arunachal. Now, we had our engineers traveling, walking for days to reach many of those locations, and carrying that antenna, which is around 100 plus kg. There are 2-3 people carrying turns, and it's such tough terrains. Now, of course, forget fiber. Fiber cannot ever reach there, but you need accessibility also to reach the places, because all this leads to 2 things. The TCO goes up. Like, for example, today, in many places that we are deploying, the cost of freight and installation is more than the cost of the equipment itself. So that is something which we need to do because it's beyond our capability. But as a solution, the entire community, and it has to be done at the ground level, as you mentioned, Hasina. Absolutely right. Because you who are there on the ground would know better, the best, rather than us sitting far away place, or even a regulator may not know this. Because there are ground realities we have to accept and respect. So, at this point, I will stick to this because I know time is limited. And as we move forward, I will definitely talk more about how we can do better.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Khairam, on also sticking to time. And for those very interesting insights about the total cost of ownership and the accessibility. The next one is Michael Gingol. He's the co-founder, director, strategy and operations for Airjaldi. Michael, the floor is yours, and the question is very much the same. Thank you.
Hi, Carlos. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, great. So basically, I represent Airjaldi. Airjaldi is a Class A internet service provider focusing on rural areas. And we have been working in mountainous areas for pretty much all of the years of our existence, starting in 2009. When I'm thinking of mountainous areas and the challenges, I'm thinking of really 4 S's, if you will. Connectivity needs to fulfill, in our opinion and experience, 4 conditions. One is it needs to be sound, as in technically sound. It needs to be a high-speed connectivity, as pointed out earlier. It needs to be stable. And the 4th thing, I'll use a Hindi term, it needs to be sasta, it needs to be cheap. Or at least that's what the customers want. Let's try and look at each one of these 4 in the context of rural connectivity in mountainous areas. To create sound connectivity, it's a function of, first of all, the technology that you're using. As an internet service provider, we use wireless and wired technology. Mountainous areas tend to be ones where wireless connectivity works a little better. But whether it's fiber or wireless, proper planning is an extremely important part of building any network. It's not a question of just going out, plunking a relay and connecting customers. It's a question of planning it in a way that A, is sound, B is economically sound, and C reaches actual clients. Otherwise, you're throwing money and supporting relays that may not give you what you need. And what you need is economic sustainability, and I'll get to that. So proper planning. Speed and stabilities. Again, the days of low bandwidth are pretty much behind us in India. This is not similar to many other developing countries. We can no longer sell connectivity below 10 Mbps to a customer. Nobody in India will buy this. 20 and above is mostly what we do, even in wireless. So this means you need to budget your link properly. In other words, is your backhaul big enough to support these speeds for each client that you connect? If it isn't, you are setting yourself for failure and you're setting your customer for frustrations. The second thing with bandwidth is you need to build redundancies. Mountainous areas have serious problems of network breakdowns. Redundancies are alternative paths. You can create alternative wireless paths. You can create a wireless and a wired. These are choices that you need to make. The fourth point is the most difficult one. Remember, I spoke about SASTA, about links being cheap. And this is where we are facing a problem in India. The prices now in India are at rock bottom. There is no way that we will go below the prevailing prices in the market right now. As a matter of fact, the market is in a below optimum clearance point. It means that we're selling bandwidth cheaper than we should be doing it. So the only way forward in terms of affordability would either be to find additional sources that can support connectivity, selling value-added services, having connectivity subsidized by one body or the other, and what have you, or the prices will need to go up. I think in terms of affordability in India, we've reached pretty much with the existing technology and the prevailing prices in the market, the lowest point that we've reached. So just to summarize, 4 things one needs to look at in mountainous areas as in other places. Sound connectivity, stable connectivity, high speed, and affordable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Really insightful and, very structured 4 points that are very easy to remember and also comes from many, many years of experience. So thank you very much. I will get back to you. Vikram, the floor is yours. I'm not introducing you because you spoke in the previous session, but Vikram is the president of the Nepal Internet Foundation. Please tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so before we actually start with Vikram, we want to show you a small case study that he's gotten with us today. Can we please see the case study?
Have Joao, Vikram and Chapal. We just made it to Kunde and we're going to show you the Everest Community Network which is hosted inside the Kunde Community Club. So we're going to show you the infrastructure, the antenna, the cabling and how people are using internet inside at this 3,880 meter altitude and what we call the highest community network in the world.
So we are at now Kunde. So we are on the site, Kunde Community Club, and our all equipments are already at site, and we are going to set up this equipment.
This is our pole, locally made pole out of wood, but it's quite strong, believe me. This is our receiving antenna, which is receiving signals from our base station. And our base station, folks, is there on top of the Everest View Hotel. using Wi-Fi technology to get a 10 Mbps connectivity into this Khunde village through the Everest Community Network.
Hi folks, can you see that antenna? That from that antenna we have this cable here, and we have this CATSIS cable, and we lay out here from and then get this inside this Khunde Community Club.
So here we are inside the Khunde Club, and as you can see, the cable that was outside is coming in this way, connecting to this router, which has both primary and secondary links, which are also connected to this access point. You can also see that the computers here are connected to the internet, where people can finally do the research online and whatever they want to do with the internet.
This is Mr. Paul Sherpa, and I have Pimpa Sherpa here from the Voice of Sherpa podcast from the top of the world. And we are joined with Claire Avram, a journalist from New York. Claire, would you tell something about you? It was about 8-9 months. I came across with Bikram, who is the director of Nepal Internet Foundations, and through Bikram I came to know with Nabit from Internet Society, and then we plan to set up a community network, a world highest community network in Khunde and Kumjung. And then we came here to do research, and then we have a lot of talk, and then Nabit suddenly brought this idea of setting up podcast, world highest podcast in Khunde. So yeah, this is all happened, and we're here now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that he just said. Like, tourists come here and ask for, like, I mean, they feel that everything here is very expensive, but that's quite reasonable because, like, there is no means of transport here, so we have to carry everything on our backs. So, like, it's quite difficult to get things here. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite reasonable that it's expensive. It's gonna be expensive here.
Yeah, down in the city in Kathmandu, where they have a good connections, good internet access, they do everything on internet now. So through Instagram, through Facebook, through Twitter, or any other social media. So they do a lot of marketing on through the social medias. But up here in Khumbu, because we don't have reliable internet, we don't do the. I mean, I don't know how many people do the marketing through internet. I don't know. But now we have good internet access, and now we can do this all easily, which we're gonna do. I mean, we're gonna set up a homestay, and we're gonna do this. So this Khumbu area is a tourism area, and Everest Base Camp. So we are in Khunde, and which is completely off track from the main Everest Base Camp trip. So I mean, we are completely isolated from the tourism destinations. The neighbor village from us make a lot of money from tourists, but we don't make any because we are isolated and we are off track. And all those lodges provide a good accommodations, a good food, but all those are Western, influenced from Westerns. The lodges, the rooms are influenced from Western. The foods they get in lodges are influenced from Westerns, burger and pizza and chicken and things. So those are our Western things. So we want people to come in our place, in our homestay, they experience Sherpa culture, Sherpa food, Sherpa's everyday life, Sherpa's traditions. They sleep with the family, they do what Sherpa people do. So they can have I mean they come here to see the mountains, but at the same time they come here to experience the culture, local culture, right? So we want money, we want income from them, but we want to also give something to them, that experience which you will never get anywhere, which you can't get in the internet. You can see mountains in the internet, but you can't get the experience in real life. So we want that experience, and to do that we need internet. I mean marketing. I mean we can't go to Kathmandu or Namche or any other places and ask the tourists come to Khunde. We can't do that physically. So all that marketing we can do through the internet. And podcast is absolutely through the podcast we're going to tell our. I mean there are thousands of hidden stories that we can share to the world, that we can tell to the world, and that's what this Voice of Sherpa podcast is, and we're gonna rock it. And I mean Navi told me about podcasts, so I start googling, I start watching videos on YouTube. What is this podcast? How this works? and now we are here talking podcast, so really exciting. And by the way, we would like to invite you in our place, our valley, and see the beautiful mountains and the lifestyle and internet, obviously. So since you're a journalist, just write brief about internet and how life is difficult here in this valley. So just spread your magic words around the world about life here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is the story of Everest Community Network. It's still going on. Still going on. And thank you very much for this 7th Community Network Xchange organizer team to provide this platform to showcase Everest Community Network here. So it's not easy. It's not easy. You can see the video, but it's not easy to reach there. To reach Khunde and Khumjung itself is walking by 2 weeks. So we reached there by different from Jiri to Lukla is 2 or 3 days walk, right? And then you have to go to the Namche, and Namche to up. Namche is the gateway to the this Everest base camp and Everest summit. But this Khunde and Khumjung is a shadow valley. It's twin valley, and it's called as a green roof. So this valley we identify. First of all, we identify this valley because of one of my friend. He was the local guy, Sherpa guy from itself. His name is Chepal Dorje Sherpa, and with the support from the Sherpa's community, we are able to connect. We are able to set up this Everest community network in the Khunde and Khumjung itself. And it's very nearby base camp. It's only 32 kilometers. So you can see that the views, landscape of the Khunde and Khumjung nearby the mountains. You can see easily the Amadabla mountains and other range of mountains from that place. So not only the journey is still going on. So as I said that I started my startup ISP when I was just 19 years old, and it's almost 2 decades I have been contributing to the society, and I have different hats. I also contribute to the EPNIC. In EPNIC, in Corporation SIG, co-chair. I'm elected co-chair for the Corporation SIG, and in ICANN also I have been contributing in the Internet Corporation for Name and Numbers in NPOC, not-for-profit constituency. In Nepal, there is lots of places that still there is unconnected. So we are working on not from the government side, but thanks to the Internet Society and ICANN and Digital Empowerment Foundation. So they provide us this platform to showcase our this project what we had did. But not only this, but we are working on other areas also in that region, and we have been working for the telemedicine, and we have been working for the capacity building program, and we are started one project that is homestay kind of startup homestay. So that's how the people who is traveling to the mountain areas, and they can see the culture and traditional of the Sherpas, and that's how we started this Voice of Sherpas, the podcast. So it's still going on. So I stop for now. If there is any questions, I mean in other we will discuss later. Thank you. Over to Carlos.
Thank you very much, Vikram, and it was great to see live, a video of some of these realities, right, where that we are tackling in this session. So without further ado, moving on to Hasina, who also was in the prior session. So no further introduction. Hasina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carlos. So I represent a non-profit organization which I founded when I was 17 years old from Shillong, when I was just out of high school, which is called Impulse NGO Network. Do follow our pages to get more updates on what we do. We concentrate on working on migration, people on the move, and providing solutions for the last 15 years through technology platform, so that stakeholder like the law enforcement is able to resolve cross-border crime, data management, or centralized data management, so that we are aware on the gravity of the problems of human trafficking. That has been the major part of our work. Our representation in every state is through shared leadership, where we have leaders who are representing us through their institutions and nonprofits who have journeyed with us more than 15, 16 years in each state of the northeast of India. In 2013, we got the World Innovation Prize, where we developed this technology platform to IIT Guwahati in bringing the centralized data management, working with Ministry of Home Affairs, and ensuring that how law enforcement can be more efficient in having data, communicating that data, faster data management, which I think in my earlier session I've shared the challenge of internet connectivity from the nook and corners, of the region in the Eastern Himalayan belt. We have scaled to Nepal, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and we are operating from Thailand as well, where it's the regional office of ours at the moment, which actually is in the progress of looking at Southeast Asia because we have international borders. In the journey of addressing unsafe migration, we envisage that the solution of addressing women who are vulnerable can only happen if we create economic upliftment. So creating upliftment of economics, we took forward working with indigenous women who are actually from the different tribes in the 8 northeastern state of India, using sustainable textile as a mode of ensuring the upliftment of economic and giving them, resources where they can choose not to migrate unsafely. In the pursuit of that, we again introduce technology as a way to resilience market. So in the journey of resilience market, we had practically got the women to weave through a centralized data management, centralized raw material distribution, and working with designers to bring forward storytelling of the Northeast. COVID-19 taught us that many of these women had to be connected through, internet. And we did many trials in 3 years and realized that connectivity is still the biggest challenge of the many population of the region. We used an innovative method of bringing women to one centralized unit, and that will be in a community open air. And then we would bring, like a kind of an internet hotspot so that everybody could be connected, so that they're able to communicate with the designers, with the textile designers, product designers, so that they're being able to get the capacity, to be engaged in a consistent manner. And that is one challenge that we have not overcome. And I think what you just mentioned is something we could work together and co-create, because if these women get better connectivity, then we don't have to make them to travel at, like days and weeks, to come to different places, because the cost of sending, trainers to every nook and corner in the longer version is never sustainable. So that is something that we need to make the last mile met. The other part is that we also start to engage the e-commerce, and there we find a challenge again. So recently, from 2013, our collaboration with Meta, especially in creating, using social media like Facebook, Instagram, as the page where these women, small businesses in the Northeast, can actually reach to market the product they're producing. because then that way they are actually reducing the cost, because they don't have to create an e-commerce site of their own. They don't have to depend on the middle agencies or individuals who are actually going to charge so much of money to help them sell the product. So we are saying that we have this largest social media platform. You're using it to connect with your friends. Let's use this from the business context. And we started giving trainings on the Meta Business Academy, which is a certified courses that has simplified to somebody who is a rural woman and still managing to make the best reel, the best photograph, the best, uploads, and how they should sell the product. There, again, the moment we go from the main headquarters to the second and the third, by the time we reach the third layers of a district of a state, then we realize that the connectivity takes a huge amount of time for them to upload things or to get the certified courses. But we did not want to be left behind, so we decided to train our team and our partners from each state so that they could go to the nook and corner, partner with the state government, and whether it's an SIRD or others, and call all these women to units, to decentralized unit. So that is where we are trying to meet the last mile. But this is not sustainable, So we are looking at more collaborative effort to meet the gaps that we have been facing, so that while they're using the social media platform to connect to the world, to sell the products, all these women and young people who are starting the businesses will not have to be going a miles away to connect on the internet to sell a product or to get the market. So especially when you're talking about tourism, we just saw this beautiful video about, the Everest, right? But then you need connectivity. So unless until we come into a convergence mode, I think all of us sitting here play different roles. We play different leaderships. We have different experiences. And people like us who have already, went through different challenges and overcome those challenges know what is the breakdown on the ground and how can we overcome that breakdown and how we can actually also facilitate the government to see that the work that the government is trying to promote, startups, when we're talking about incubations, but these can only exist if you give, digital connectivity, which is free of cost, not through a third party. When we are making the possibility met, because at the moment, what we are challenging in our work is that while you're talking about startup and small businesses, we don't have that connectivity for the people, and we have the maximum rural population, in the Eastern Himalayan belt. How do we overcome economic upliftment? Because for us, the motto is preventing unsafe migration can only happen if economic upliftment, become possible. And in a world of digital, it's a human right. So that human right has to be met, where the costs cannot be paid by the small entrepreneur. It has to be a state responsibility. It has to be a country responsibility through partnerships.
Thank you, Hasina, for that intervention and for letting us know the reality of the people that you work with and the challenges that they are facing in relation with connectivity in these areas that are the topic of discussion. Moving to Vikari, because we are somehow running out of time, and also the organizers have asked us to catch up with the delay for the other sessions. The next speaker is Mr. Vikari Charan Nayak, the Chief Technology Officer from Reliance Jio. Mr. Vikari.
Thank you, Mr. Carlos. So, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And yes, so now the connectivity is the challenge in the hilly terrain. So that is the subject actually. So myself, BC Nayak, I work for Reliance Jio for Assam Circle. So I am with Jio with Reliance since last 22 years. I have rolled out network in a lot of states like Bihar, Jharkhand, MP, Chhattisgarh, then Assam, Northeast. So I have seen, yes, after this digitization, connectivity is is more important. So the hilly terrain villagers, they should not be deprived from this digitization and this connectivity. In our forefathers, when they used to go for build a house, they used to taste the water. Now I've seen the young generation, when they are searching house for a rent or to buy a property, so they first see the whether network connectivity is available or not. So you see the change of generation, because I have seen the fixed line where only we used to connect with through voice. When we were doing the engineering, we used to get the money through money order. Now, because of this digitization, everything is instant. So once your connectivity is there, you will now, once you are acquainted, you will feel helpless. So how to the hilly terrain villagers, how we should connect to them? So now lot of technology is available, and in India also, we are also developing lot of technology to connect all the hilly terrain. So recently in Assam, we have connected 3 districts, that is West Karbi Anglong and Dima Hassu, where we have connected 332 villages by radiating 222 sites. Yes, we really found very difficult to access these villages. So with a lot of efforts by boat, by 4x4 vehicles, by head loading, and we have lifted all the tower material and electronics. Mr. Michael was telling, yes, putting up a sites is not the final solution, because you have to give the stable network. So to keep stable network, your EB is the best power source. So EB should be there. But in 222 sites, there is no EB available in the 10-15 kilometer around, in the nearby 10-15 kilometer. So we have gone with diesel generator and solar and with additional battery. So we are giving backup, at least 12 hours backup with the battery and also solar and our generator. Because you see, any natural calamities, any rain, and we are not accessible, we are not able to reach the site filling the diesel. So at least the power should be very essential. Now you have to take up with very strongly with the government, at least build a road for the hilly terrain, for the accessibility, and please support for the power for this internet connectivity. And 2-3 things I want to highlight. We have done in past 2G, 3G and 4G. Actually, Honorable Prime Minister has declared digitization, that digitization happened after the 4G technology when evolved in India. Our chairman Saab, in our Mukesh Ambani Saab, in lot of his interaction, he has told, you see, one day data will be the future of oil. Yes, you see, we are not able to survive without the telephone, without the connectivity. So the generation is changing. So we have seen in the past, during COVID time, I used to see in the photograph, I used to see in the TV, the children for their education, they have to go to climb either a tree or a hilltop to get connectivity for that study, for that their online education. So see how it is, how this connectivity is so important. So we all should focus how this hilly terrain, and they should not be deprived of this digital connectivity. So we should facilitate, and as an operator, we are also working hard how to get connected all these hilly terrain sites. So recently, there are a lot of technology has come with the microwave. Now E-band. In India also, we are buying from Ericsson, that is Sweden company. But in India also, this E-band microwave is developed in Karnataka. There also, this is used for the rural connectivity. So in India, entrepreneurs are also developing. They are also manufacturing the new solutions, how to connect with high-speed data, because now this the person from UJS is here. So I'm taking the equipment to connect our mobile tower, because there I am getting only 8 Mbps. That 8 Mbps nowadays is not sufficient to give the connectivity. So the new mid satellite is almost we have tested recently in the Mobile Congress. Our Honorable Prime Minister has shown to all the audience. The testing was done from our Jorat ONGC center. We have connected the 4 orbit to the satellite. So with that we are able to give 1.8 Gbps speed. So these are the new technology coming. Slowly it will be diversified and easily we will connect all these hill stations. And madam, in the last discussion she has told that the international border earlier, when I used to visit for international border coverage check, I used to get all complaint from the BSF. Sir, we are deprived, we are not able to connect our family. But recently our Ministry of Telecommunication, they have relaxed in the international border because earlier there was a restriction. Within 1 kilometer, you cannot make any call. So that relaxation is gone. Now that international border also, they are also not deprived to connect. And similar way, lot of government also, they are working. And when our Minister Ashwini Saab, Honorable Minister, when he was here in Assam for a review, so he has called the private operator, and there he has also mentioned that every household should be connected with the internet and mobile, either with a wireline or a wireless broadband. So the work is already started, and we all are working towards that only. I think one day you must be now watching how we are progressing toward digitization, and lot of on this 5G platform also, lot of user cases we are working, how we will help the farmers on the agriculture, health and education. These are the 3 agenda with 5G user cases, how we will help the farmers to do the good harvesting. So and also in the health side also, how in the remote location we can reach to the patient. So all these things are already started and things are happening. So thank you. So this is from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Vicari. Thank you very much. In the interest of time, because the session is running a bit late, I mean, not our session, the program is running a bit late, and I think people online for the other session are waiting. Can I ask each of the speakers for a 30 seconds wrap up in relation to the context of the conference? What is the role, in 30 seconds, I know it's too little, but please try to, what is the role that you foresee the community playing into closing the digital divide, over and beyond being a consumer of the services that some of you provide? What role do you think the community can play? Thank you. 30 seconds, please, starting by Mr. Jairam.
Thank you, Carlos. If I got your question correct, there's a lot of echo around here. It is your request is for all the panelists to sum up in 30 seconds, 1 minute, what you feel as an organization, as a community, you can contribute to improve the, I would say, the livelihood of the communities who are unconnected. I mean, I think that is the gist of the question I believe that you asked.
Well, and put it the other way around. What do you think the community itself that you are connecting can bring to your solution?
Okay. So I'll try to take it, in fact, I can't help myself. I'm trying, based on the feedback from Michael and my colleague from Reliance Jio. First of all, when you're talking about connecting the unconnected, I'll talk about that. You need all technologies. It is not that I am representing satellite, but you need everything, E-WAN, V-band, and whatever is coming out later. Because that's precisely the reason my colleague Dharmendra did mention about the huge outlay of $16 billion, which has been allocated by Government of India to connect the 640,000 unconnected villages. Out of it, 10% has been allocated for alternate technologies. That is not small. And it includes everything, the LEO, MEO, GEO, satellite, V-band, E-band, whatever. So we need to work together. And every technology has to act as a complementary technology, and it will have its own place. Now, if I look at satellite's perspective, satellite service provider perspective, ours is a niche, I would say, service, wherein we are the only solution available where nothing is available. Now, typically, in any commercial, I would say, or a commercial space, usually you charge at a premium, right? I mean, that's how you try any niche. But we are totally opposite to that. We are really committed to bring down the total cost of ownership. To be frank, as Michael did mention, in India, a GB on a terrestrial, on a 4G costs 10 rupees or 9 rupees. This is the lowest in the country, in the world. I mean, nobody can match that. Now, satellite has never be as cheap as a terrestrial in whatever form, today or tomorrow, whatever it brings in. Although we get bringing in a lot of low-cost capacity, which will help us move further. But there are smart solutioning and smart ways to make the effective cost lower. So that's what we are working on. We are working with the regulators to make it happen, because many of this required, as mentioned by many, need government funding. You cannot expect the private enterprises or private telcos or even the community to contribute, because I mean, the contribution will come through increased GDP. When, as I'll take the case of Hasina, if those artisans of that community gets right, this thing, it can contribute to the revenue in the country, right? I mean, they grow, they pay taxes. I mean, they bring development. So that's how this has to be looked at. Second part, what the community should look at is how to be, like for example, satellite can. One of the biggest use cases across the world for satellite is community Wi-Fi. Now, Hasina just described it. She's doing it manually by bringing everyone together in one place and bringing something. So satellite can enable it, and it can be, in fact, for that, we can drop in a lot of bandwidth. Like he said, 1 Gbps. Now we're coming in with low-cost LEO also by next year, and low-cost STS, etc. You need some Wi-Fi or FTTS to distribute it further, so that everyone need not invest in the expensive terminals. They can use it in their handhelds. So there are many more, I would say, advancements coming in the future, but we need to put our head together to bring in how can you make it sustainable? Is there a way to bring down the cost of solar power? Like today, the battery packs are expensive. Maintenance, how do you maintain that? And once you install it, how will you sustain it over the period of time? So then I would say, I mean, I like the concept of DEF Sujanapreneurs and village level entrepreneurs. If they take the ownership in maintaining that infrastructure, that will go a long way in reducing the total cost of ownership. The technology is there, the service providers like us are there, we are bringing new and better technology capacity, but ultimately sustenance is possible only if everyone work together, the regulator, government, service provider, and the community.
Thank you very much. Very important points about the technology toolset, the collaboration, the evolution of the innovations, and the need to foster that innovation to bring down the prices all across the value chain. Really, in 30 seconds, Michael, can you please wrap up? I mean, they are gonna kick me out. They are all gonna kick us out, all of us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
30 seconds it'll be. So I think connectivity is no longer just about connectivity alone. It's gone way beyond that. It's about how you use connectivity. And the way community can help us is really, it goes back to increased demand. They need to help us increase the demand for connectivity. And the way to do it is to find and develop the needs that a community has for connectivity and connectivity-related solutions. That's really where it lies, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for for talking through those 30 seconds. Vikram, please, your experience as well.
So I think like what all the other panelists had said, I mean, if we are talking about satellite being the next reach to the unreached, then I think that needs to be multiplied with a policy in every country that works together to make the possibility happen. But at the same time, I think while we are also looking at technology for good, we also have to look at the challenge of technology, where we are talking about online safety protection for women and girls. Because at the end of the day, we also work very much on the online safety bit, the misuse of internet, as we give a huge access, comes with a very big price. When it comes to sexual exploitation of women and girls that we are dealing for the last 7 years, from trafficking, which happens, like in person, now it's mostly exploitation online. So I think we have to also look at technology for good that also overcome challenges of economic, but at the same time have the protection for women and girls, that happens online. So I think that's also an important aspect of how we look at technology and connectivity.
Thank you. Mr. Vicari?
Yes, it's digitization is happening, but equally also you have to give importance towards the digital security also, what Madam also indicated. So that is more essential. The misuse of data also to be very much restricted, and the DOT, Government of Telecommunications should work on this. And coming to a lot of, due to this fast digitization, lot of also fraud is happening, and they are, because a lot of people, they are becoming the culprit, and I think we have to arrest these things immediately. And as the agenda was hilly connectivity, yes, all the operator also and the Department of Telecommunication also give some subsidy to the operator, because there's putting a site on the hilly terrain because of low habitat, it is not business viable. So I think government also do some workout, and also they should think of also to build a road to first the accessibility, and also to that town should be charged with the electricity, so that we can go and put up our tower. So this is the input from my side. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And going back to that initial point from Mr. Hairam on accessibility, a very important point about cybersecurity and skills around that Hasina made. I think this was a great session. Vikram, I don't know if you want to wrap up with a 30 seconds close-up, and then we leave it there.
Yeah, for meaningful, affordable, and sustainable internet, there are lots of technology nowadays. I can see, I started from C-band VSAT and Ka-band VSAT and Ku-band VSAT, and then coaxial cable internet, and then fiber and wireless. So there should be a very affordable internet for everyone. In Nepal, it's still for the hillies and mountainous areas, it's very difficult to reach the terrain, and the cost of investment is higher, and to install and implement, the people, they don't want to go to that site because of the risk factors in altitude seeking. And so my last point is to, if we want a meaningful and affordable internet, so the government and private sector, business house, civil society, all multi-stakeholders should be come in front and work together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I guess a similar point that came across the inaugural session on collaboration. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you found the session interesting. A lot of different points, a lot of different barriers and ways of solving them. Thank you very much, all the speakers. Thank you very much, everyone there in the room. And passing the microphone to the on-site organizers for the next session. Thank you. And a big hand to all the speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you for being a wonderful online host. Just because we ran the session a little late and we want you to have your energy for the next session, I think we can break for lunch now and join back by 2 o'clock for the next session. I hope that's okay with the speakers of the next session, but unfortunately, this is something we have to do for now. Thank you to all the panelists for joining us on the stage and presenting us with your thoughts. Mr. Jairam, Hasina, Bikram, and Mr. VC Naik, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Let's break for lunch and come back by 2. Sorry, I forgot to tell everybody where lunch is happening. It's happening in the dining area where we had tea. We'll see you guys there.